Genetically modified food have had specific changes added to their DNA through engineering. And there's two techniques that are used to accomplish this. The first is through complementary or compatible genes, and the end result is very close to crossbreeding. Or the second is through adding an alien or non-plant organism, which has been very controversial. Abbott and Nate, in the history of genetically modified food at www.buzzle.com, states that crossbreeding has been around since the 19th century. Gregor Mendel, a monk, was able to crossbreed a tall T species with a short T species, and they were able to inherit each other's traits. And so crossbreeding has been around since then, and the only difference is that it's very slow. Sometimes farmers have to wait a few seasons to get the desired result. But in 1983, genetically modified tobacco plant was created to be antibiotic resistant, which was done very quickly through this DNA process. And today, the U.S. supplies half of the world's genetically modified crops. And the two techniques that they do use are cisgenous, which is related organism, as I said earlier, and transgenic, which uses a non-plant or alien organism, which has been very controversial, causing governments to start to regulate how genetically modified food is put into the food supply. In Europe and Australia, they require labeling, and they give a unique marker to genetically modified food in the very beginning, and it's required to remain with the food through the process so that people know, people get to have the option of eating or consuming genetically modified food or not. Where in the U.S. it's different. We're not required to label food here in the U.S. The USDA works with growers, and the food is not released into the public until it's considered safe to grow. And the EPA makes sure that it's safe for the environment, and the FDA, which is Food and Drug Administration, makes sure that it's safe to eat. Well, Margaret Grossman, in her 2009 Deacon Law Review, feels this is very dangerous because she feels like that a lot of genetically modified food doesn't get to be reviewed, and it can be dangerous for our food supply. So she feels like there should be more regulation around it. Now, many scientists believe that there are substantially differences between genetically modified food and non-genetically modified food. Still, others believe that there is no difference. So Mr. Chetty and Samoan, in their article, GM Biotechnology Further Foe, in the South African Journal of Science, say that people wonder what about the quality of our food, because there's not enough written about it. There's no studies hardly done, and people are left confused at best as to what needs to be done with genetically modified food. So going forward, we need to do more testing. We need to know what we're eating is healthy. And we need to also have more management of coexistence between genetically modified food and conventional crops, so they're not contaminating each other. And there needs to be some type of management for traceability, so people have the option not to eat this food in the U.S., and that doesn't exist today.